Hello and welcome. My name is Lino Tadros, and in this video, we will discuss and demonstrate flow evaluations. Azure AI Studio and Prompt Flow allow for several types of evaluations, like prompt evaluation, quality evaluations, and safety evaluations. In this first out of 3 videos I'm going to hopefully produce very quickly, we will start with prompt evaluation first. We use a prompt-based approach to assess the correctness of the generated answers. We will run an AI assistant in this example that you're going to see in a minute that compares each answer with the ground truth for the given question and assign a score between 1 and 5, where 5 indicates, of course, a perfect match. The assistant also provides an explanation for the assigned score. This method leverages the capabilities of the language model to perform evaluations in a structured and consistent manner. To be honest with you, for a team working together, prompt-based evaluation is particularly useful before merging a pull request in a CI/CD environment. It allows the application developers to quickly assess the correctness and quality of the AI assistant's responses before merging changes into the main code base. By incorporating this evaluation during code reviews, teams can ensure that updates maintain or improve the performance of the AI system itself. So let's have fun with that and show you that in action. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to our code that we have been working with for the last maybe 3 or 4 different videos, which is the same template that we downloaded in the beginning. And you'll notice there is a folder that comes in called evaluations. If I open this up, you will see there are multiple evaluations available right inside of there. There is a prompt evaluation, which is the focus for this specific video. And then later on, we will make one for the quality evaluations and also the safety evaluation. But let's concentrate right now on this prompty eval.py. I want to open this up and show you what's inside of there. First of all, like we did before, we're going to create an instance of the prompt flow client in here. We're going to get some Azure configuration, the OpenAI endpoint, and the key. But notice these 2 things in here are important. I'm going to be pointing to a specific flow available in my source folder called chat.prompt. And we've seen that before as well. So if I open up source and we go to the chat prompt right there, this is the main prompt that I'm going to be using for that. And also the data, instead of doing this manually, I would like to bring in a data set. Maybe it has 10, 20, or even 100 different question and answer and expectation. So let me go ahead and open up this test dataset.jsonl. It should be available right inside of the evaluation. Let me show you what it looks like. As you can see, it's a JSON file that has documents, and each document has an ID, has a title, has a name. But the most important thing, if you move a little bit to the right, you will see description, but we're going to get to the important piece here very quickly. And that would be not the content. Let's keep going on the first one. And then we're going to get to a very interesting one. It has the question. So I will actually, each and every single one will serve as a document pretty much. And we will have a question like this one, for instance, says, how can I reschedule my appointment with the healthcare company that I'm trying to chat with? It will also have a chat history, which in all of these will be empty, an array, because I'm doing this as a completion, not as a chat. But the most important thing in this file is that we have a ground truth. That means it doesn't only have the questions, we already marked the answer. So this is the ground truth that we expect to be the correct answer for that question. So you can reschedule your appointment through an online blah, 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 and you can go from there. Each and every single one of these documents, as you can see, have a title, has a name, has a content and a description, but most importantly, it has a question and a ground truth for each and every single one of them. So if I go down to the bottom one in here, there is a question and there is a ground truth in here that will be measured on, alrighty? So the important thing is I would try to create a Python file, this Python file in here, prompty eval, that will actually run a specific flow, as you can see, by passing it the chat.prompty, but it will be loading the data coming in from this test dataset.jsonl that contains about maybe 10 or 12 different cases that it already knows the answer to. Very important to remember that. This is not just the question. Alrighty, and I'm going to actually column mapping like we did before, and I'm going to get the details and just show you, print out the first 10 records coming back from there. But the important part, the evaluation run. Remember, this is a base run in here to run this, but I need to run an evaluation run. What does an evaluation run do? under evaluations, I'm going to actually open up something called prompt answer score eval.prompty. Let's see what this guy looks like. So if I open this guy up, this has a completely different prompt. You see, it has you are an assistant. Your task is to evaluate a score for the answer based on the ground truth and original question. This score value should always be an integer between 1 and 5. So I'm actually not doing this manually. I'm actually telling the system, hey, I have this file, and I want you to actually go ahead and measure the valuable ground truth versus what the LLM came up with. And you need to make a decision between 1 and 5 if it was close enough or not even close at all. So give me a good score between all of them. I'm even giving you a one-shot or a few-shot example so that you know exactly what I'm looking forward for the LLM to do. So what is the capital of France? The answer is Paris. The ground truth is also Paris. Then the output is 5 out of 5 because the explanation is Paris is the capital of France. So I want you to do exactly the same thing with all the record inside of my test dataset JSON, and go ahead and give me a score on that as well. So at the end, I want you to give me, on the user perspective, the question, the answer, the ground truth, and give me the output that I'm asking for, like in JSON format if I want. So you can see you can set this up as a template and you can use it for a lot of different things as long as we have a data set that contains the question and also the expected grounded truth that you're expecting back. So you can measure how good is the prompt for the value of the LLM that you are working with. And that's just one of the evaluations that you can do. All right, now let me go back to Prompty. There is something else also I wanted to show you that we added in here. And that we used actually the PF client, the prompt flow client, and we set to Excel because I want to see it as well. I just don't want to only do it in memory. I want you to create an XLSX file for me so you can show me all the columns between the input question, the answer, the grounded truth, and I need to see the score. I need to see, did you give the score 1 or 5 or 3 or 4, whatever. That is an important thing for me visually to be able to tell as well. Excellent. I'm ready to run it. I'm going to come back in here and we're going to actually do Python and we run evaluations folder / prompty eval.py, the file that I'm showing you right in here. Let's push enter and see what happens. We'll give it a few seconds to run this and I'll come back after it finishes. Notice it's starting the prompt flow service and it's trying to actually read from the data file. And it is done. And it created 10 rows with 6 columns in it. Unfortunately, in the command line, you can't see it very well, but there are all the data that I'm supposed to see inside of an Excel spreadsheet, like the input questions and the outputs. But again, in a command line, it will not be properly. That's why I asked it to actually drop it into an Excel spreadsheet so we can see it properly. Let's go ahead. I told it to put it on the root. There it is. There is the prompty answer score eval.xlsx just got created right now. Let me double click this guy and see what the system have actually created for us. Let me see if I can open it from here. Open with Excel. I don't have Excel. All right, let's go ahead and run it from the outside. Then right click on it and say, show me this guy on the outside. All right, I copied the path. Let's see if I can put it in here and see where that file is. Oh my goodness. I always forget that I'm not running on my machine. Remember, this is not working and I cannot get it because I'm actually running in a VS container. So that's why when I right click on it, I cannot open the folder. I'm not on my machine. So I have to remember to download that file. So let me go ahead and download it. And then we will put it, for instance, in the downloads. There you go. That makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go ahead and say save. And then let's go. Now, finally, I have it on my machine. Let's go ahead and open it from there. And finally, I have the Excel that we generated open. It has the input question for every single one of the questions that was inside of that test JSON file, JSON-L file. And then I have the input answers that came in. Plus also, if I move to the right, you'll notice these are the ground truth. So this is what the LLM came up with, and this is what we had inside of this file as the ground truth. So it's going to compare these two together, alrighty? That's what my prompt asked the LLM to do, compare them together, and based on that, give me a score. Let me open this up a little bit better so you can see. This is the output scores. So it gives 5s for most of everything, except a couple of them have a 4. I mean, I can actually start getting some bad ground truth, and now it's start getting 1s and 2s. But even with the 4s, if I see why it did that, it will give you the explanation coming from the LLM. The answer provides the correct method for rescheduling an appointment with the healthcare company, which are through the online portal or by calling customer service. However, it misses the specific detail about rescheduling at least 24 hours in advance. So the ground truth said that the LLM said you need to do this 24 hours in advance because it's inside of the vector database that came back, but the ground truth did not mention anything about the 24 hours. That's why we didn't give you a full score, 5. Same thing with the one at the bottom in here that says the answer is accurate and everything is good, but again, it will find a small little thing missing. That's why it did not give it a full 5. Hopefully that makes sense why it works the way it does. So you can do this manually, okay? You don't have to do this an automation way, but it's nice, of course, to have a big data set with a lot of ground truth for a lot of questions. So you can run this periodically to find out if there is regression in the quality of the model, if the regression of the quality of the data that we're actually vectorizing, and so on. So this is a very good thing to do once in a while, or even on a schedule, to tell you if there is deterioration in the quality of the vectorization and the LLM we're working with as well. I hope this helps explain really what a prompt evaluation is. You can have multiple prompty files that contain different ways to get to the data, and you can have prepared a file that has the ground truth and everything, and it will help you evaluate automatically, of course, what's happening inside that model. Evaluation of prompt evaluation. This is a great way to do it for the prompt base. Now, in the next video, we will do the quality, and then we will do the safety one to do similar things as well. Hopefully this was useful to you, and I'll see you again in the next video.